Hello, everyone, and welcome back to part 2 of our Maker of the Month interview. You guys, if you missed part 1, you've got to go back and watch. There are so many gems that Miss Laurice Taylor Seals of Spark a Vibe Candle Company dropped on us. So much inspiration, so much good thought, so much really just inspiration, I think is the best way to describe part 1 of this series. So kicking off part 2, I know how much mental health means to you. And I know that, the pandemic and, alleviating mental health stresses is kind of what caused you to create the Spark a Vibe Candle Company. Talk to us a little bit more about the importance of mental health, the importance of self-care, and how candles can play into that.
Okay, so I want to first start off by acknowledging that May is Mental Health Awareness Month. So this interview was just perfect timing, and it really is a time to really reflect on how we spend time taking care of ourselves, our emotional needs, our physical needs, and just being able to really disengage from everyday life and we just need a moment to just kind of like woosah. So yeah, mental health is really, really huge to me. That was what kind of has inspired my business. Like I said, I have a passion for working with people and helping others, when they're dealing with really tough, challenging situations. So when I decided to start Spark a Vibe, I really brainstormed on how to tie the two together, because it was really important for me to be able to make the connection between the two. And so for me and for my clients and, future clients, I always, like for candle burning, it can be so soothing, so relaxing. Certain scents can really stimulate the lymphatic system and just really help to induce calming methods and help you be able to, relax and just kind of like stabilize your mood. So I really talk about self-care and how that ties into it, because a lot of times that's what we do is we light a candle, we might take a bubble bath, we might read a book. Those are some things where you really have to just take time, like I said, disconnect to be able to reconnect to those things, but be in a better space when you're doing that. So some of the scents that I have found to be really calming, like of course lavender is one of the ones that's really calming, and it really can induce calming effects and help you to eliminate symptoms of like stress and anxiety. And then also like the eucalyptus, that's really good for like stress relief, and again has that calming factor. Frankincense and myrrh, that's another one that's really good. It's not
familiar with
popular. Yeah, you don't really see that one as often, but it also has calming effects. Even Palo Santo, that's another one that I offer in my self-care line, and I think I call that one protecting your peace. When I researched about Palo Santo, that's what it's used for. It's used for, inducing peace and tranquil and just creating that environment. So those are some of the scents that I use to help, eliminate mental health feelings and emotional stress, those kind of things. It's always good to just be able to come home and light a candle and just kind of chill out. Absolutely. And a lot of times when people are burning candles, that's really why they light a candle. The thought process behind it is usually because it's for relaxation, or it's trying to spark some kind of mood or, atmosphere in your home or your office or wherever you
spark a vibe, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, for everyone who's watching, make sure to watch until the end of this interview, because Miss Laurice has an incredible deal that will absolutely help with self-care. So you definitely want to keep watching until the end of the interview when she shares that. So let's get into the nitty-gritty of it. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of Spark a Vibe Candle Company. So where do you currently offer your products? Like where can we find you? Where can we shop? Where can we shop?
Okay, so online, I have a website. It's sparkafivecandleco.com. And then, like I mentioned, I have a lot of vendor events that are coming up, but that would usually only pertain to local people who are able to access the vendor events.
And where are you locally?
I'm in Kansas City, Missouri.
Missouri. Okay,
yeah.
Wonderful. And how have those vending events been for you? Like, how do you find out about them? For those who are watching who want to get involved in the same way, how do you find out where these vendor events are held, or what steps can you take to get involved in that?
So initially, it was more like word of mouth. If I have a few friends that have businesses and knew I was starting up my candle line, so they would like say, "Hey, check this out. You might be interested in doing this." And I would, try to research it and see, where it was held and the time and if it fit in my schedule. So initially, it was word of mouth. And then as my business started to grow, I have a lot of people that email me and they invite me and they want me to come. Someone has like told them about, my business. And so, they've met me at a vending event. That the vending events, one thing about it, they are great networking opportunities. So if you are a new inspiring candle maker, the vending events are a great way to connect with other businesses, introduce people to your products. Sometimes even at the events, I always say, I don't come here to like spend money, because you see all these people who are so creative and they have all these different kind of talents and you want to just spend all your money. And I'm like, no, I'm here to make money. So sometimes, I'll have people approach me like, well, hey, do you want to like trade? And, you can try my product if you want to give me a candle. And so I've done those kind of things at vending events. But yeah, they're great opportunities. And I've had pros and cons, on the front end of it. You have to really be careful for scammers, which is very unfortunate, but people will ask you to pay a vending fee.
Yeah, is that normal? Is it normal to pay a vending fee at these events or no?
Yeah, most of the vending events that I have attended usually always come with some kind of fee for your table space and all of that. But I've had a couple of opportunities to be at events that I don't think were probably promoted properly. And so, with the fee, the promotion of, hey, we're having this event comes with the, is the expectation from the vendee, which would be me, to, for those events. So,
right.
So I've had some events where, I might not sell anything, but not very many. I would say like one or two experiences. And then that kind of raised my radar to be more selective in the, the ones I decide to attend. So I really research them and really like see like on social media, like, or there are a lot of people expected to attend the event, or they promoting it, what kind of event is it? I've done like women conferences, like church conferences, those kind of places where I could really talk about mental health and then also, introduce people to my products. So
yeah, I love that. And I think we talked about in part one how the perks of these vending events is actually being able to have the candle in hand and smelling those scents, because you really don't get that same interaction if you're buying online, as we all know. So, and then like you said, the camaraderie of being around other entrepreneurs and the inspiration that can cause. So I'm a big fan of those vending events. So if anyone who's out there, definitely try it out, do your research, find out what's happening in your area. And you can really I think it's a really great starting off point, especially with a business or with a product like candles.
Absolutely.
So talk to me a little bit about what you do as far as promotion goes. Like, how do you spread the word about Spark a Vibe? So we know you do vending events. Do you do anything else like giveaways? How are you using social media? Do you want to use social media more? Do you want to use it less? Like, how do you build up promotion and advertising for your business?
So absolutely, social media has been instrumental tool in my promotion and advertising. At one point, I did have a young lady that was helping me promote through social media. And so she would create all these nice ads and we would, do different sales and codes for, different products. And that was a really great opportunity, and it brought a lot of business in.
Yeah, that was my next question. Did you see your profits increase from that?
Absolutely. And so that was one way. And then I do Instagram, Facebook. I just send out emails to my customers, people who have already purchased, or people who have subscribed to my website. I'll send emails with different codes. And then like birthdays, I usually try to send out things for birthdays. If I'm aware of that, that's another thing I really want to tap into, like maybe doing like a birthday giveaway for, just current clients, just for supporting my business as a little appreciation for them. Yeah, so that's usually how I'm promoting outside of the vending events. And like I said, I really wish I could have more time to put into social media, because I feel like that really does get you an audience that really is looking at your content, depending on, the creativity of your post and, those kind of things. So I think social media plays a huge part in advertising. And thank goodness we're in the world we're in today where social media is a thing, because
exactly, it wasn't a thing.
I don't know how
20 years ago. It's so true.
Right.
It's amazing how dramatic our lives have changed, but I think it's really important, and I think it's really good to hear that, when you put a little bit of, your money into the advertising, most of the time you will get, a return on your investment with that. Because a lot of people are like, oh, is it really worth it? But I mean, I think it's definitely worth a try. So I love that advice that you're giving to the viewers. Let's talk a little bit about customers and your customer satisfaction, and how important is the customer and them walking away with a really great product. How important is that to you?
Oh, that's like the top priority. I aim to please, like it's packaging, like they're all like, oh, your packaging is so pretty. Like I go all out, like even when I'm boxing it up and bagging it up, like I'm putting all, the cute tissue paper, and I have these really cute rose gold bags and all this customized stuff. And I usually give little hand sanitizers with my brand on it. I'll give out free gifts. At one point I was giving out like eye masks that had like Sparkle Vibe on it.
Oh, wow.
Like, as a little incentive for purchasing. And I want to make sure that my customers are happy and they have a product that they love, so that they'll return and continue to purchase from me. So
absolutely.
Customer satisfaction is like number one priority.
What do you think has worked best in regards to building rapport with your customers and allowing them to come back wanting more? What do you think you've done that has been kind of the key to that?
I think when I'm in person with people, just being very personable. You meet all kind of people at these vending events.
I'm sure.
So just being able to connect with them on a level that might be outside of candles. Sometimes I have people coming up to me and they'll just randomly start talking about something, might be outside of candles, but being able to just find a way to connect with them and bring them back to, hey, well, you want to smell candles, and look, I have this, and and so people really, I think, just being a people person, being outgoing, being excited about your product that you're offering. And I mean, I think people can tell that I love the candles that I make. And so I think that makes them curious, and just being able to, like I said, just captivate the audience. I'm always like, hey, you guys want to smell the candles? And, once they smell them, they just really like, oh my God, I've never smelled anything like this. And then they're looking at the vessels and they're like, these are so pretty. And so I think people can tell when you put a lot into your product and your brand. And so even in my setup at my vending tables, I always try to make it really pretty and just really captivating, so people don't usually walk past it without stopping. And so then that's your opportunity to really connect with them. So
absolutely. And Laurice, I think you hit on something that's really important. So many people are like, oh, I don't want to start my candle business. Everyone has a candle business. It's so oversaturated, but there's no one like you.
Exactly.
So there's no one like you that can bring the type of personality, that can bring the love that you pour into each vessel. So I think people really need to realize that that the spark is within you, and you are what's
Yeah.
going to make your product great because of what you put into it and the heart and the hard work. So I think that's incredible. And I think it's also amazing that you choose to pick the absolute best vessels, best quality
Of course.
from up here
Yes.
Dream Vessels.
Yes. I mean, I feel like
on-
vessels like they help make my brand, you know, because you see people who are candle makers, other candle businesses, but locally, I don't see a lot of people using my containers. So when I'm at events and I see, you know, different candle makers, they are usually using something totally different. And so I feel like that is what inspires a customer to purchase from me versus purchasing from the other person.
Exactly. And we thrive on that. You know, we thrive on having unique vessels that are just beautiful and, you know, a touch above the rest. We really focus on quality and having a unique, beautiful vessels for you to put like your heart and soul into. So tell me a little bit about what your experience has been with Dream Vessels. Like, what has the customer service experience been like? What has your shipping experience been like? Would you recommend us to other candle making friends? Like, let us know how your experience has been with us so far.
So in the beginning, I think during the heightened time of the pandemic, the shipping was a little longer than usual. I think there was a time period where like it was so hard to get anything, like the oil, the wicks. I mean, everything was like back ordered, and you know, you were waiting like months to get your products. And so in the beginning, that was my experience. So I was like trying to make sure that I had enough vessels to keep up with my clientele. And you know, when you get on there, I know people who are familiar with Dream Vessels, when you see that dispatch date and it's like 2 months from now, you're like, oh no, I need this like this week, you know. But I've even had times when I've reached out like, hey, it says this day, do you think I can, you know, get these? And you know, sooner, I got an event coming up. And you know, people at Dream Vessels, whoever, you know, does the emails or whatever, they've always been super supportive and just really helpful. So my experience has been so positive with you guys. I really have enjoyed, like, I kind of feel like I don't even know who's behind the emailing, but
there's a whole team. There's a whole team.
I mean, you feel like you know them, and I think they probably know their customers just like I know mine. So they're probably like, oh yeah, she purchases a lot, you know, from us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
But now I would say in the recent months though, like I can order something maybe Monday and I could get it by like Wednesday. So
we really focused on, you know, speeding up those lead times. And of course, during the pandemic and at the beginning, everything was kind of just like nobody knew what was going on. So we were still trying to just find our way. But we've definitely made it back, which is so exciting. Would you recommend to other candle makers like yourself to, you know, purchase their vessels from us?
Absolutely. If you want your brand to stand out and you want to really have something that your customers will love and appreciate, they definitely need to use the Dream Vessels for their candle collection.
Good. Thank you. If you could describe Dream Vessels in one word, what would you use?
Ooh, that's a tough question. Ooh, one word. Let me see. I would say luxurious.
Ooh, luxurious. I love that word. Oh, luxurious reminds me of like the best self-care, right? It's the best way to take care of yourself. If you're going to take care of yourself, you need to do it in the best way, right?
Right, exactly. Do it better. Right.
Now let's talk about like, how do you balance? Like you work at a school, you have a full-time job, and you are creating candles. How do you balance the two? How do you balance this business that is just, you know, that you're so inspired by, and, you know, the regular day-to-days? Like what does a typical day for you look like?
Well, a typical day is usually just my full-time job. And then, you know, of course, my family, when I get home from work. I'm not always making candles. I usually, like when I sit down and actually make my candles, I'll make them in bulk. So I'll make multiple. so that like now I have a couple of vending events coming up and I won't have to like be up all night the night before making candles, because
So it's about time management.
yeah, it's about time management, because sometimes I have gotten caught off guard with just the busyness of my life and everything going on. And I'll have an event and I'm like staying up the night before till like 3 a.m, like trying to get things prepared and all that. So I'm like, nope, I'm going to start making these in advance so that when I have events, they're already prepared. All I have to do is package them up and get them, ready to go. So that's worked out a lot better for me. But yeah, so I usually will just take maybe 1-2 weekends out of the month and really sit down and just make a bunch of candles. The thing too, kind of piggybacking off of the vending events, you never know what people are going to want. A few events I've went to, like I'll have several customers come and they'll want vanilla or they'll want lavender, and then I don't have any of that because
inventory, right?
Yeah. And so just being able to gauge like, okay, which event, what people are going to want what at which events, so it's really been challenging in that regard to just kind of know what the customers want. So I usually will just do like my best selling fragrances. I know if I keep those in rotation that they're going to sell no matter what. And if I have people who want a lavender and I don't have lavender, or vanilla and I don't have vanilla, then I'll do like just like an order form. I'll tell them like, hey, we can order it. I can make it up for you and ship it out to you.
Amazing. I love that. So you found a way to balance it. You found a way to make it happen for you. About how long do you think it took you to find like that balance of how it worked? Did it happen after your first vending event? Did it take you like a year to figure out, oh, I need to have like 2 weekends out of the month where I dedicate to this? Like, how long did it take you to find that balance?
I still feel like I'm figuring it out. Right now that's what's working for me. But, as business grows and times change and things change, it might be different next month. Mm-hmm. But, at the beginning of the year, I had told myself that every month I wanted to do at least 1 or 2 vending events to kind of get engaged with customers and get my product out there. And so I've really stuck to that. I've done pretty good. This is May, and I've really have stuck to that. So that's worked out good for me so far. But like I said, it just depends. I feel like you're always learning and just being able to adjust and just figuring out stuff as business grows, as times change. Sometimes I have slow months, and you have to be able to balance that, especially like if you're doing this like as a full-time thing, then you have to be able to prepare for those slow months and the downtime. Holidays, really, you're going to get a boost of sales and an increase in people, like Mother's Day. That was a big time. Yeah. Valentine's Day, that was another big time. So, like the holidays, those are the times when you really need to have your inventory like fully furnished so you're ready to go.
Right. That makes perfect sense. Like, you're learning and growing, and the more you know, right? The more you know, the better decisions you make.
Right.
Where do you see Spark a Vibe Candle Company in the next 5 years? Like, what are your goals for your business?
So the next 5 years, I want to open up a candle store, my own store, a candle bar or store. I would like to serve like wine and just have a really cute store with really pretty, sparkly things, a place where people can come and smell candles and just kind of relax. If they want some wine, have wine. And then I started just this weekend. I did my first candle making class. So that's something that I want to start.
Congratulations.
That has been a vision. It was awesome. I did like a mom and me candle making class for Mother's Day. And so, my passion is for working with kids and families. So that was like right on target. And I did it at a local church, and I came in and facilitated a class, and I talked about self-care and mental health, which was really great. And then we made candles, and they work with mom or grandparents or aunts, and they, work together and they made candles. And so it was really cool. It was a really big turnout.
I
And they
love
want to
that
do
idea.
it
I
next
love
year.
that
They're like, we're going to keep
so
doing
much.
this. Yeah, it was awesome. So I do really want to start hosting those classes because I think it's so fun. And like I said, I found it to be so therapeutic. And like for a date night, like the paint and sip classes,
Yes,
go
yes.
and make a candle together with your mate or your spouse or whatever, and just a fun time to just connect. Yeah.
And especially since we've been cooped up in the house for 2.5 years, like now we can get out and enjoy life again. And I mean, to create a beautiful self-care.
Right.
Oh, I love that idea so much.
Right. Yep.
So much. So, I mean, in the next 5 years, I know you're gonna get there. And it's so obvious because you have put so much heart and thought into your business. And I think it really shows in your creativity with, your vessels and your scents and your events. So I think that is so inspiring. So we're almost done with the interview, but I do want to ask just a couple more questions before we end. Okay. And that is like, what are the key things that someone who is thinking of starting their own candle business like you have, what are some things that they should absolutely do and they should absolutely not do? Like, give me one thing that is a must do and one thing that, maybe tripped you up in the beginning that you wish someone had told you to watch out for.
Okay. So one thing that you absolutely must do, I would say research, definitely a lot of research and a lot of connecting with other candle makers, because like I mentioned before, like the Facebook groups and even you guys' Facebook page, there's a lot of information on there. So getting tapped into those Facebook groups, not being afraid to get on there and connect with people and talk and ask questions. If you're struggling with something, like people are very responsive in those groups, and they were really helpful and inspiring for me to keep going. And, if I had challenges on finding wicks for a certain vessel, like there's so much information out there for you to, you'll at least have a starting point based off of, your research and everything. So that's I think an absolute is, and then to have a vision, have a vision for your business, what inspires you. Like for me, it was mental health and self-care, but really being able to find what is your vision, what is your motive in creating your business, and who do you want to connect to and why. I think when you think about that and the passion that you have for that, that's kind of what will drive your business, and it will drive you to keep going, like during the tough times and when things are not going the way you feel like they should go. Being passionate about it is what will keep you moving. I think for the don't do's, I would just say just not to give up, just even when it's challenging, find a space where you're able to process that and talk to other people that may have experienced that same thing, because you can learn a lot and grow a lot from, the people in the groups, and, you'll just learn about, well, what did they try? What worked? What didn't work? Those kind of things. And you get a lot of inspiration from the Facebook groups, people who are getting ready to give up. They might put a post and say, I'm over it. I'm done. I'm so frustrated. And then you have all this feedback of people just encouraging them, like, don't give up, and just keep going. What kind of help do you need? And, those kind of things. So just not give up too soon, prematurely, because you have a rough day, or your candles didn't turn out so smooth, or you can't figure out how to wick a vessel. Like, keep moving, keep pushing, keep trying, and you'll get it.
I can't think of a better way to end this interview than on that note of to not give up.
Don't give up, guys. You can do it.
Laurice, you have been amazing. Thank you so much again for being our maker of the month for this month. You have been incredible, such an inspiration. We have learned so much. You've shown so much, and thank you for being here and sharing your journey with us. So once again, let us know where we can find you. Let us know where we can shop. Let us know where we can follow you on social media, and let us know about a little secret code that we discussed. I promise there was something coming at the end. So now's the time.
So you guys can find me at sparkavibe.candleco.com. That is the website. I'm going to do a special promo code, and that code is going to be self-care22. And that code will get you 25% off of any of my products in my collection. And then you can find me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram, Facebook. It's Sparkavibe Candle Co. on both Facebook and Instagram. And if you have questions or you're struggling, reach out. I would love to help you guys.
What a gem. What an angel. Laurice, thank you so much. We wish you only the best in your business. We can't wait to continue to follow you and hopefully continue to be a part of your journey. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day. And thank you so much for sharing with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. Have a wonderful day. Thanks so much.
You too.
Bye-bye.